Bang! Yeah, 713, don't step in this league, throwing rocks at the backboard. Living our dream, better dribble to the three, take the shot, here a cash short. And we don't even care what you say, we ain't scared of the hate, get a win and just laugh more. Stand in the paint, better clear out the way, hit the court with the black force energy. Every single week on a killing spree, you kidding me? You talk about winning with the epitome, you better be talking with peace and we locking the key on them. Know that it's rocking with Ryan and Donte, the drip guy, we beyond the gossip, the topics we talk on a pop and we conquering the obstacles that we cross as a team. Shot from the seats, we the Rockets like Elon. It's the H-Town rundown. Let's get started right now.
That's fire.
So, season is over. What do they say? 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Guys, this is the H-Town Rundown, Houston Rockets basketball podcast here, and we're going to bring some energy to it today. There's a lot to talk about, a billion things to talk about today. And as you see, we got Rockets Run Robin Boy here at AP. We got AD, the owner. We got Jules from the NFL side. We got Donte here. Let's go around the room and introduce yourself. Start with AD, man. It's good to have you on. This is the man, the myth, the legend himself. What's good, AD?
The crap starter.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag piss people off person. This is the one and only AD. Speaking in third persons is crazy. But yeah, here H-Town Rundown, proprietor. But yeah, I'm here to talk about these Rockets and talk about everything Houston sports. But yeah, definitely check us out as we're double dipping today. Got the Rockets right now and the NFL side on the back end.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of back end, we got Jules bringing up the rear here. Yeah. What's going on, Jules? I've only been on podcast with Jules one time, and that was for the Texans draft last year. That's the only time.
Man, it's been a while.
It's been a minute. So what's good, Jules?
Oh, not much. I was coming here so I can make sure we trade Jalen Green by the end of summer. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole reason I'm here. I'm gonna talk mad noise about Mr. 8 points a game for NBA series. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's gonna be a tough conversation today, to say the least. But it's good to have you, man. Appreciate you jumping on for today.
No problem, sir. No problem, guys.
And we got some positivity down here. We got AP from the Rockets Round Robin. He's bringing up as well. What's good, AP?
What's going on? First of all, the Rockets lost and Jalen averaged 8 because it's Ryan's fault. So make sure everybody y'all hashtag it's all Ryan's fault. But other than that, you can follow your boy AP at X, Twitter, Rocket King AP23, and then make sure you follow me and my boy TJ on Clutch City Connect on both Facebook and Instagram, and the Robin guys on Facebook and Instagram as well.
All right, man. Thanks for joining us today. And we got the OG dog himself. Donte and I have been rocking it out since Smiley. So Donte gonna bring some smiles to us today. Donte, what's good, man?
Yo, man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Like I say, the moment I knew we were losing the game when Buddy Hield hits the half court shot, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a terror. It's gonna be a Buddy Hield is gonna have a night. And when Draymond Green hits his first 2 shots, I say, oh yeah, it's over with. We ain't winning this game tonight. So yeah, I'm good though. I'm all ready for it.
Absolutely, man.
Did you say Smiley? No.
I said Donte been with us since Smiley.
That's AK favorite coach right there, Steven Silas. That's AK favorite coach right there.
AK ain't here to talk shit, so Donte gonna be bringing that up the whole time too. And Ryan's not here. I don't know where Big Head at, but it's all right, man. He said he got some school to do, but it's cool. Hopefully he's learning.
Needed to get schooled.
Hopefully he's learning to shoot because we need some shooters. If I never see one after that series, we just air it out today.
You get one if you got rid of Jalen Green, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Honestly,
already started. Let Preston have the show, man. Let set it up for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
There is a lot to talk about, and yes, unfortunately, my boy, we gonna have some conversations today, and I can be honest. It was a poor series. Something I will say before we start getting into it, if a coach says the game plan is to take X player out the game, right? Why are we not coming up with counters for that? But that's an issue for a later date. Right now, and AD got the name trade #TradeGG, man. That's absolutely insane up in his top there.
I mean, can we call him by his government name, James Harden Jr.?
That's tough, man. They both had stinkers too in the game 7s. That's crazy. That is crazy.
But I mean, at least James had a few games. Jalen just had one in a 7-game
No,
series.
I mean, James Harden still had 13 assists and only 2 turnovers. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's gonna be a long
Golden
night,
State.
Preston.
It's gonna be a long night. Golden State, Game 7. Donte, man.
What was the score?
down.
What was the score of that game?
Oh boy, I just
It's
remember
103 to 89.
There you go.
Donte, break this game in for us, man. Why did we lose this game?
Well, we lost the game because certain players that we didn't expect, guarantee we didn't expect for the Warriors to step up, that really did a goddamn thing all series, but they picked the right time to do it. Was in Game 7. Like Draymond Green, we didn't expect this man to have no 16 points. He comes out, he hits his first 2 shots. He had about like 8 points all in the first half. He didn't have that all series. Buddy Hield probably had one good game against us. That was Game 4. Actually, that was his best game before that for Game 7. And then the moment, like I said, I knew it was over with and I knew he was hot when he hit the half court shot at the end of the first quarter. I knew he was going to be hot for the rest of the game. And Draymond Green, just having 16 points, just mind-boggling us. It was a play that I just said. It's just we really not gonna win. It's when he immediately dribbles the ball down the court, he runs right past Tari Eason and makes a layup, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! I'm just like, Jesus Christ. But other than that, man, like I say, we lost because we went 6 of 18 from the 3-point line. We couldn't shoot something we didn't do all year. We just couldn't make shots. We made free throws. We shot better at the free throw line, but hey. At the end of the day, Jalen Green, every time he scores single digits, we lose a ball. We just lose a ball game for some reason. Like I say, the positive pop we had in this game, was Amen Thompson. Amen Thompson was great in this game, man. He was like, he tried his best to keep us in this game out. He was okay, but Amen Thompson was just great, man. He was just great. Blocking shots, going to the rim, he kept the energy going, and that was probably my positive in this game. But other than that, I thought the defense was really good. But again, you scoring 89 points in a Game 7, just that's the problem. The offense was mainly the problem. Of this game, and missing 3-point shots, and turning the ball over, which is we had 11 turnovers, but they were big time turnovers though. But other than that, we just didn't come out with no energy. We just came out with no flow on the offensive side of the ball. And the players that we didn't expect to step up for the Warriors, they stepped up. And then Steph Curry had that 18-point fourth quarter. So at the end, we got down by 6. Then Steph Curry goes behind his back, Shea Tyrese, and then he just makes a 3-pointer right there. And then we lost the fourth quarter. That was the end of the game right there.
The fact that we couldn't, the Warriors just BTA from the beginning to the end there. And usually, right, we've been able to win 2 quarters, 3 quarters per game, but the formula was winning out completely for them. Made us work for every single bucket. And again, let's just say it how it is. Your top scorer cannot go 3 of 8 from the field, and your other top scorer cannot go 9 of 23 from the field. Right? Your 1 and 2 options cannot combine for what is that? Quick math: 12 of 31.
Mm-hmm.
That is atrocious.
In a Game 7, when you have to shine.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I will say, Amen. I'm looking right at you, Amen Thompson. You got a place in Houston for real. Now I'm not saying that one series determines a player, but I will say is I liked a lot of things that Game 7. A lot of things that you did in that Game 7 I liked. There were quite a few things I didn't like, though. But it was just small, big-headed mistakes because you was making shots. You decided to get a little fancy and take some shots that you should have not been taking. But you kind of were backing it up by making big-time shots down the stretch, right? So
one more thing, Mr. Preston, before everybody else go. And we had to miss 1,000 shots at the rim. How many shots early late in the game? In the game, we missed at the rim. I mean, Sengun missing shots at the rim, missing easy shots at the rim, just like he did in Game 3. He missed easy shots that he normally make at the rim. Jalen Green, every time he go to the rim, he doesn't really go up strong. He doesn't really go up strong enough. He misses shots at the rim.
He's not ready for the contact.
Easton missing shots at the rim. We had to miss about 1,000 shots at the rim, especially Sengun missing shots early in the paint. So that's another thing that actually hurt us. We missed 1,000 shots at the rim.
100%. Beautifully said, Donte.
So, Preston, can I add to the whole Ahmed thing?
Yeah.
He might have made some mistakes. He might have been some missing shots and some doing too much, but he wasn't afraid of the moment.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was trying to be, I'm gonna make this team win, and that's what I'm missing from Jalen Green.
Yeah,
I'd rather you try and fail. They don't even like you pushing the envelope to be better than what you are and to show more what you got going on than just oh well. I mean, it's not my night. I'm not gonna do it. You going down on game 7? You gotta go down on game 7.
Yeah, you gotta go down swinging, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and defend it, but what I am gonna say, the team's mentality of sometimes me, sometimes you, always us.
Yeah.
It does feel like any game that, at least in the playoffs, right, that Jalen was not going to do too well, they just stopped going to him. They got him the ball at the top of the key. They forced a double. He passed out of it. And that was kind of it. He just stood there at the top of the wing. There wasn't running screen play to get him open in corners. There wasn't running dive plays. There was not running drag screens. But I'm not saying it's on the team. It's on him, too. He's got to want to make that happen, too.
Right.
If you want to be a dog, right, if you got that mentality, then you got to say, hey, I need y'all to run this for me.
So I got a question though. Like, what is stopping him from being that positive, like Tari and Amen, who No. Oh, I'm getting to Tari, Tunnel Vision Tari. I'm getting there. But it's to the point of when I talk about on the offensive end, the duck downs, the movement around, because essentially when Jalen is in the game, he plays that similar role, because there was a lot of lineups, especially in game 7, where Amen was off the court and Jalen was on the court playing that role. And if you're in that role or in that position and you understand you're not bringing the ball up, you're not having the ball in your hand at the top of the key, why don't you start moving around or making high IQ plays to create yourself to get open? Because that's what Amen does. They don't run set plays for Amen. Amen creates opportunities for himself.
I'm not going to defend Jalen. There's a lot of criticism that deserves to be heard. I think the difference is that Jalen isn't necessarily a paint player on the team, right? Does he go and attack the rim? Yeah, but the way he attacks the rim is not the way that Amen attacks the rim, is not the way that Cam attacks the rim, is not the way that Tari Eason attacks the rim, right? They don't attack the rim the same, right? Jalen is like, he's like an inside-outside player, if you will, right? When he got that mid-range fall, though, everything kind of flows together. Mm-hmm. What I am going to say, right, is that the way that Amen is getting his shots is definitely different than Larry. I don't know if I agree with that right now. My pride kind of hurt at this moment, but maybe you can defend your take.
I'll get on Larry and Stafford when it comes back around to me. I got beef with Larry.
I will say that the lineups that Jalen's running out there with, we saw him out there with Steven Adams, right? But we saw him out there a lot of times with the double big, right? We saw him out there with Adams and Sengun. So that means Jalen has to be a perimeter player.
Correct.
Right? And he took in game 7 just 2 threes. And correct me if I'm wrong, the criticism with Jalen missing so many threes was he was taking so many and missing so many. Mm-hmm. There was games on here where it was like, oh my gosh, he went, 3 of 9. Why take the shot? But then we on the podcast right now complaining that he's not taking as many threes and he's not taking as many shots. So like it's either you want him to take the shots and miss and have that a large volume of threes, or you don't take that many threes because he can't make them. And that's about it. So I don't know. think there's ways we got to talk about this for sure.
So, Preston, I have a question for you. Because
Yes, sir.
I'm not really on the podcast too often.
Sure.
I dabble in basketball, but when I've seen the whole season, it kind of sums up the whole playoff series. Do you see much difference on how they played in the series and how they played in the season, and kind of see where they fell short because they were the number two, and let's not be a pile on this Jalen Green,
Yep.
Shagun, all the stuff. These cats were at least a year or two ahead of schedule.
Okay.
Coming from where they're coming from, and then the fact to be the number 2 seed in the West and probably what the 4th or 5th seed overall in the NBA, coming from where they came from the last 3 or 4 years. We can complain, and right now we all Jalen Green this and Tari Easton and where's my boy Cam Whitmore, but we also get these boys some flowers though too because they
Agreed.
made a hell of a run from where they was to last year to this year, and not even making it to the playing game. And then 2 years ago, the second pick of the draft 2 years ago, and having top picks to finally put together and a good coaching and a good nucleus of players to what they got now. What they were the number 2 seed in the West, which is always the hardest, or the last 15, 20 years been the hardest division or conference in the NBA. So let's not get that, but you can see where all season the same issues that happen in the playoff series, not having that number 1 go-to guy. And I don't know, and maybe you can educate me, is that coaching? Is that coaching, or is that just the nucleus of the players there's not a dog there? Or is it's a dog incoming, like Amon seems to be that dog rising to be, hey, I'm gonna be the closer.
That's beautiful to say, man. Again, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, that's crazy. That is a crazy comment, Stafford.
It is.
How do I answer this? Does Houston have a bona fide closer?
Mhm.
No. Does Houston have closers? I think it depends on the position that they put in. Yeah. I think with the overall team, right, like you said, the team comp, in the words of AK, the communist offense, there's too much of the, well, I got to go in tonight, so get it to me. I got to go in tonight, get it to me, right? And instead of like, hey, like, we need a bucket, right? Because down the stretch, right, we kept telling that person, go get the bucket, go get the bucket, go get the bucket, and they shot 9 of 23 from the field, right? 39%. So do you want Jalen to only take 8 shots and be upset he only took 8 shots? Or do you want him to take 23 shots and be mad that he missed 14 of them?
Yeah,
that's kind of my question back to you. Or anybody, I guess. Anybody.
Okay, well, so look, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody would be upset in Game 7 if Jalen Green took 28 shots.
I don't know about that, man.
And no, the reason why is because this is what irritates me, and I get pissed off with people, is that they want to bring up the Kobe comparison. And they want to say, well, look what Kobe did his first playoff series ever, and how he, was airballing threes and missing threes and everything like that. It was the aggression.
Yeah.
It was the aggression part that gave a lot of people a lot of, okay, well, he's just young. He's going to learn, but we see the aggression there. And that's been my problem, is that I think overall, Jalen, you can say Jalen's shot selection has, I don't even think it's bad shots he's taking.
I agree. It's not bad shots he's taking.
He's taking good shots. He's just not making it. And I'm not mad at that. It's the point of, you were aggressive Game 2.
Yep.
You were super aggressive Game 2, and your shot was falling. If you kept the aggression the rest of the series, even though your shot isn't falling, you may get a call later on in the series if you're being super aggressive going to the basket. If your shot is not falling, I agree, Larry. He did not impose his will. Did he have a will to impose? Is the question. And so, it's a maturing factor needed for him. But again, it's you have to realize, and I'm pretty sure it was preached to him by the Ronald. Is it Ron? Not Ronald. I'm about to call him Ronald Isley. Royal Ivy. Royal Ivy, Ime Udoka. They've all had those comments to him, like be aggressive.
Right.
Like Fred had to be aggressive for him. But it's just the point of, again, the reason why I said if Jalen took 28 shots on game 7 and he hit 15 of them, okay. Or if he hit 13 of them and he shot under 50% or whatever from the field, okay, I'm okay with that. And the reason, again, the reason why I'm saying is that you went out guns a-blazing. You emptied the clip.
Hold on, Eddie. I got to fit. First of all, I'm a Jalen Green hater since his rookie year, his second year. I'm never going to defend Jalen Green, but y'all want to compare Kobe and him going on fire. Look what the team that Kobe had his first playoff series. He had monsters. He was
Yeah.
allowed to miss shots because you know why? He had people that can cover him for him. If he gonna make bad shots, he had people make rebounds. He had Shaquille O'Neal in his prime. He had Rick Fox in his prime. He had Eddie Jones
Eddie
in his
Jones
primes.
and Nick
He
Van
had these guys that
Yeah.
can allow him to be aggressive, to grow into that monster that he came to because they erased his mistakes by being that good. So Jalen Green don't have nobody to erase his mistakes besides Şengün.
But
So
You got Fred Van Fleet. Watch out. You got Fred.
yeah, so, so I'm gonna give Jalen that people want to put up that series about Kobe did this, Kobe did in his freshman year.
I
Don't
don't.
forget that. Don't forget
I
that
don't. I
that
don't. I
Kobe
don't.
had monsters with him that
Yeah.
erased his bad mistakes and
Right,
allowed him
but
to
that's
grow into
why
situations.
I hate the comparison is because
Right.
those are two totally different scenarios. And the reason why I've always hated it is that when people try to put any comparison, even if you're giving an analogy, give a more recent analogy. Don't go for the gusto. To me, that's just like the whole LeBron and Michael Jordan thing all over again. Kobe is 1, 2, or 3, not one, but he's 2 or 3 of all time as far as NBA player
6,
around some circles
7.
or whatever. He's top. No, he's not 7.
I'm not gonna have this conversation.
No. I'm not gonna fall for the trap. But it's just the point of when you put that pressure on Jalen Green, you're putting pressure on him and he's never gonna be able to live up to. Jalen Green can be a great player, but what did he say? You can't compare Jalen to Kobe playoff experience. It's just the whole point. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Why even bring up Kobe in the first place?
Right.
I know.
They see his potential. They see his
Right.
his likeness and that he loves Kobe and all that. They just using one of the greatest players of all time to make excuses about he need time to grow. I mean, if you're gonna use Anthony Edwards, something like that, some of his body types, people like that, that's when you can say. But using Kobe, that's to me is wrong. And then the what they using the his playoff series against Portland, that's to me just it's bad basketball.
I'm gonna say this again. It's a disservice to Jalen,
and
it's a disrespect to Kobe.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
I mean, what you should hear, Preston?
Why would you say it's not?
I will say that, like, yes, comparing it, like Kobe was also a rookie in his first playoff series.
Correct.
Right? Like that is also something completely different.
Mhm.
Obviously, his team comp is different, right? What I'm saying is, I don't think it's disrespectful to say that the comparison there between the two, but I am going to say that, yeah, like it is a disservice, right? You shouldn't be putting up a guy who is an all-timer, right? Even if you're looking back, because you look back at any player, Kobe was the one that got traded.
Mm-hmm.
Like from what was it, Charlotte?
Charlotte for
the Hornets when they were in Pelicans or whatever, right? Like
no, it was the Hornets.
It was the Hornets.
Okay. So like absolutely incredible, right? Looking back at that now, you know, people say he's stupid, right? But why did that team trade that dude? What did they see? They said, oh, we can't have him. There was no trajectory, right? You didn't know, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, keeping it, I don't even know how to articulate it in a way that's a more current player, right? But what I have seen is players who have been who have shown flashes, or had like an okay season, where you're like, oh, okay, all right, this guy kind of nice, 20 plus a game. He could be a leading scorer, type thing. Literally everything that people are saying about Jalen, a lot of people were saying that, and again, two different players, right? Just similar trajectories in terms of wanting to get traded, being good enough to be traded, but not good enough to be on their team, right? Because that's what people are saying with Jalen is, oh, he's good, trade him while he's got high value, right? That's what they're saying. But if he was so bad, then he wouldn't be able to be moved. But you hear my point is, like, I mean, T-Mac was a guy who was up and coming. He was good. And then he went over, and what did he do with the Magic? Immediately went over there. Hang on. James Harden, right? Again, not that they're the same. Not that it's a one-to-one comparison, but James Harden, 6 man of the year, right? He was playing starter minutes. OKC had to trade him. They traded him, and guess what happened? Everything else, 36 points per game guy, right? But Jalen's a completely different player.
But they traded him. They traded him because he wanted to start.
Different reasons.
Right.
Different reasons.
Okay.
But they still traded him, right? At the end of the day. Yeah. Different reasons, though. Playoff reasons, team reasons. What I will say is it's the first playoff series for a lot of these guys. And we saw the jitters like throughout the entire series for every single player. A guy I thought was going to thrive, I won't lie to you, was Tari Eason. I thought he was going to be Kill-Atari. That dude that played his heart out and gave us 30 and almost willed us back against the Warriors by himself. I thought that's what we were getting. But it's their first playoff series. And they 22, 23. But I don't know about y'all, but man, when I was 22, 23, which was just a couple years ago, I was still starstruck about everything. Seeing the cities, going places. I didn't know what the hell was going on, man. I can only imagine what it would be like to have that kind of pressure for a player who just played under Smiley for 2 years and then went to a coach, is getting coached by a guy who's completely different mentality, defensive schemed. Now you have to learn a whole new offensive everything, defensive everything. You have to create your own shots a lot, right? Jalen just kind of, chilled and hung out with KPJ and averaged 17 and 22, right? Mm-hmm. Just a couple years of Smiley. Completely different, right? Versus now, this is, oh shit, this is winning ball. This is different, right? It's like Russell Westbrook on OKC. It was like, yeah, he still got them to the 8th seed, but they was the 8th seed. They was a first round exit, unfortunately. You know that. Despite averaging a triple-double, despite putting up historic numbers, you knew that he wasn't going to get much. Not because Russ is a bad player. A lot of his team comp, but he wasn't going anywhere. He was an AC. All in all, I say, in a roundabout way to say, we criticize. It's okay to sit here and say, like, Jalen this, Jalen that. Yeah. We got to remember, man, first playoff series. Some of it's not an excuse. Like you said, some of it's an aggression thing. Some of it is he just needs to have it. But if your coach is not putting you in the position to want to have it, what's your point? Because he can say one thing. He can go ahead and say one thing. Yeah, he's saying this, he's saying that. But then it's not translating to the court. Then obviously there's a disconnect somewhere, whether that be the player itself, what he's being told, or a combination of both. And I'm not blaming Ime. I'm not putting the blame on Ime. But you can't just say, Jalen, hey, go run that, because that's not how Jalen operates. You got to do something a little bit different. Uh-oh.
Sorry, I saw the news. Half their starting lineup is out tonight.
Who?
Evan Mobley, Darius Garland. And DeAndre Hunter won't play tonight for the Pacers. I mean, against the Pacers for the Cavs.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
So, they hold on. Everyone's emotional about the series went down, overanalyzing the end of it. I would trade Sengun, Tari Van Vliet. So, again, Larry and Stafford is a serial hater of Alperen Sengun because Alperen Sengun is not Hakeem Olajuwon. Because Alperen Sengun is a foreigner and he's not Hakeem Olajuwon. Larry hates Alperen Sengun with every being in his body, and he would trade Alperen Sengun for Giannis all day, every day.
I like Sengun.
Yeah, I again, Sengun is Sengun younger than Jalen?
No, he's 22. Sengun 22.
Yeah, so he's younger than Jalen.
Yeah, he's 22.
Sengun is younger than Jalen.
It's like 6 months difference. It's not
Right, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, 'cause
comparable,
yeah, but I think that we were talking about the age difference because a lot of people were criticizing Cam Whitmore's attitude, and I was like, y'all do realize he's like literally the youngest person on the whole team. Like he's a baby compared to everybody else. He's younger than
Except
Amen.
Jabari.
He's younger, huh?
Except Jabari's the youngest.
I thought
Cam.
I thought
you said Cam. I just spaced
Yeah, I
out.
did.
Yeah.
But no. But that's the whole thing with Larry. Larry just doesn't like Şengün's game because Şengün is not Shaq or Hakeem or dunk in your face every time. That's a lot of people don't like Şengün because of that, but that's not his game. Jokic, I mean, I know they can hate the comparisons of Jokic, but they always call him Baby Jokic. That's Jokic's game. Jokic is not a guy that's gonna sit down, back you down, and dunk in your face, and all of that. Hold on.
That's crazy. Oh my bad. I was trying to pull it up. That's crazy.
No, I said people like to call him Baby Jokic, but again, he is not Jokic. Again, I don't like the comparison of that either. But it's just the point of Jokic's game is not that either. His game is not back you down, dunk in your face. He's a finesse player. Şengün is a finesse player.
Jokic got. Yeah, sure. Continue.
Şengün, Jokic is he's long in the tooth in his game right now compared to a lot of players. Jokic is right at 13 years in the league, close to?
Something like that. He's
double digits. I know he's double digits.
I think he's only 31, so I think it's his 12th year. 11th or 12th year.
I was close enough. But it's just the point of like he's been in this league a long, long time, and he had his lumps as well. But at the end of the day, Jokic is a finesse player. You can say he can score the ball, he can draw fouls, he can do everything, he can hit the three, he can do a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, he's a finesse player. And wholeheartedly, he's a finesse player. Şengün is a finesse player. And I'm gonna answer this question. Yes, you can.
You think we can?
I think you can.
I think you can. I think you can win. With him as your best player, I think you can.
As a best player, I don't know about best player.
Him as a player on your team, absolutely.
I think he's the second best player. Yes,
I think you actually could do that.
Not if you're missing 4-foot shots and layups and free throws.
That comes with growth again.
Yes,
I'm gonna say that, and the point I want to make again,
he can get better at free throws. He can get better at free throws.
Shaq never did.
Boy, Preston, you did it about 2 seconds. Preston. You did it about 2 seconds. The White Howard never got better.
Here we go. Yeah. And this is a coach. See, that's the point that I'm.
So what's Hakeem? What is Hakeem Olajuwon?
So
finesse player.
Hakeem
who's to beat people up, but was finesse.
So I think Larry would have been happy if Şengün would have swung on Draymond, and I think he would.
I think we all would have.
Yeah.
I think we all would have been excited if
Şengün
Şengün would have.
too.
I think
I'm not advocating for violence though.
So again, say, can you win a ship? Yes, you can win a championship with Şengün.
You can.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you can, bro.
I don't even think that's a question. Larry, I pose this question: can you win a championship with Jalen Green as currently constructed? With Jalen playing like he played this series and him showing you all season the inconsistency.
You can say the same thing about Şengün right now, though.
Yeah.
Right now, we're not winning no chips with either one of them.
But you could have a better
right now, this second. Hang on, this second. With our team exactly how it is, even if Jalen's averaging 18 a game, we're not winning a championship right now.
But
either one of those two.
But after the series, who are you more comfortable? Who's shown you?
That's what I'm saying. LP.
Who showed you more? Şengün showed you more, and he had a tougher matchup.
Ooh, like I said, they completely guarded Jalen differently than they guarded Şengün. They were putting pods on Şengün, bro. What? In the post, Şengün got 9 inches. That he got that much difference on him than pods, and Şengün couldn't score. You're sitting here talking about something like, oh, you're the tougher. What?
I
Did
get
you
it.
watch the game?
I get it. I just like. I think
So
Şengün has more upside, and
Like,
one-
sure, yeah, sure.
showed more.
Sure.
He
One
just
thing-
he showed more effort too than
Yeah,
to me.
one thing I will
Yeah,
say,
I got it, Chris. I got you.
one thing I will say that is prominent amongst all of the young players, because I think people forget we've drafted, I think 7 players, and I think 5 of them were in the lottery over the last 4 years. If correct me if I'm wrong.
You said over how many years? Since
Over
the
4
league?
years. Yeah,
you can put Cam in that lottery. He should be a lottery pick.
But I'm just saying, I think Cam and Tar was a lottery pick, right?
Nope. He was
No,
So
I think
Cam and Tar were the only 2 that weren't lottery picks. Everyone else was a lottery pick. Was Şengün, was he 16? So he's just
Şengün was 16. You had
16,
Jalen, Amen, and Reed.
and Jabari.
And Jabari, excuse me.
So
But I'm like, at the end of the day, Press, he supposed to punish a smaller dude if they're gonna do that, bro. You can't.
So, but
But
the point I was
was
trying to make about those young players is that each one of those young players has an aggression issue. And the
Jabari
reason
does not have an aggression issue. Jabari does not have an aggression. He just did not.
Jabari just didn't get the minutes.
Hold on. Let me
say your piece. Say your piece.
So my point is that what was the talk coming into this year about Jabari Smith? Is that we needed him to be more aggressive, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
So when I'm talking about over, and this is the last 2 years with Ime. So I'm talking about this 2-year block of Ime. There has been an aggression issue at some point over the last 2 years with Jabari, with Jalen, with Şengün, with Amen. Every one of those players has had an issue, and that's something that Ime has to overcome as a coach. So it's just the point of you have to know how to manage it. And I think that's a lot of Ime problem too. Is that how do you manage I got to get the aggressiveness out of all of these young players, and which without taking away from another player.
That is what I wanted to say exactly. Is the way the offense is currently constructed, there is no chance for a player to grow into being aggressive mid-game. You either come into the game aggressive or you don't get aggressive, right? Nobody, as far as I remember, nobody's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting 18 shots in the second half, right? It's either you got 10 shots in the first half and then you're getting 7-8 shots in the second half on average, right? Because we've seen people, go up and down, but on average, right? If you were the aggressive one, total, you're doing maybe 21 shots. And that's you being aggressive, getting the shots regardless of then everyone else's shot attempts, they go down. Again, look at the games where we claim like Şengün and Jalen, right? The reason they don't go off together, right? We say it's because of game, because of this, that, and the other, right? Because of Clip, what's going on, Matt? We say it's because of how the offense is being ran. And that's exactly what it is right there, is how is the offense being ran? Why is it working through this player, but not working through this player? And I had to say it out loud, but when they both hot right now, like it's just not working, right? We've had 1-2 games in their entire careers where Jalen and Şengün both were like, oh my gosh, here it is. This feels great. And we had the Jamal Murray Jokic comparisons. Y'all remember that when they both had 30 and 10 in that game? That was absolutely insane, right? When do we ever see that happen? And I think it can work, right? I'm not saying it can't work. I think it can work. But why aren't we putting them in those positions to succeed in that level and promoting our guys, our top 2 guys, the hierarchy, right, in Şengün and Jalen, to be those aggressors? And again, I think a part of it is kind of what we talked about, AP, with, how Jabari, right, he's on the bench, he's not getting enough minutes, right? We were complaining about his minutes. And like we low-key was like, oh my gosh, it's just a conspiracy theory that they're trying to lower Jabari's value for his contract, because we've seen that. We've seen that time and time again, where a coach will take a younger player or a player who's up for a contract. They will have a horrible season, not because they were a bad player, right? Or they'll have a poor playoff series. Again, not because they were a bad player, not because they were doing anything wrong, but they were not put in positions to succeed. We just saw that with Jabari Smith Jr., who was, let's be honest, this series right here against Golden State Warriors, this was his series, right? This would have been a great series for him. I mean, first game, he shot 100%. Did he only take 4 shots? Absolutely, he only took 4 shots because he only got 4 shots, and he had to work for those shots because they were not putting him in positions to succeed. And then we were just complaining to him that, like, yeah, he didn't get a chance to. So I say that all to say, I just don't think that they're being put in those positions to have the chance to be aggressive enough, right? Unless it's 2 guys, and you know those 2 guys are the vets. They have the green light for anything. Dylan and Fred can do whatever they want all night, unless Dylan Brooks is in foul trouble. Other than that, they can do whatever they want all night. It don't matter. Everybody else gets hate, though. Go ahead.
But Preston, wasn't that this kind of same thing that the coach had an issue in Boston? That that there was such a level they couldn't get past, and Jason Tatum and Brown, they looked like they could be the part, but something's blocking them. Do you think it's a coaching problem with the Rockets that you can see the comparison between us and Boston?
Well, I will say that Ime called them out in the press conference, and then they proceeded to only lose 3 games going forward from there. And then they ended up going to the finals, right? So I'm not putting it all on the coach.
Okay.
I'm thinking the mentality of the players is just different because Tatum and Brown had been in the playoffs for multiple seasons already when Ime came there versus this is the first time last year, obviously, was the first time we'd even thought about going to the playoffs. But this was the first actual year of the Rockets in the playoffs, especially with this iteration between Jalen and Shingu, right? I think the mentality is there, right? I mean, Jalen first game literally said the lights were too bright. He pulled a Jared Allen and said that it was a bright light, going into the playoffs for the first time. So I chalk it up to mentality, right?
Yeah.
Like I really do think a part of it is mentality. I'm not going to say specifically the dog, but just this is new, this is different. How do I do this? How do I do that? And then Ime not instilling the correct confidence in his guys that, Jalen, like, yes, you only had 9 points. You're supposed to be the leading scorer on the team. Go take another 10 shots. Let's put you in positions to succeed. And yes, I want you to get the ball out of your hands, but then we're going to run a play immediately so we can get the ball back in your hands instead of, we got a trap. All right, throw it, and then run something with Fred VanVleet.
So you want to run it back? Same squad, run it back.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. No,
not 100%. I think we do need to add a shooter for the bench, right? And I think we need to continue developing Reed, right? But I think we need someone to come in for Fred. We need someone to come in for Jalen, right? Those are our things right there. And so when they get subbed out, we've got bread and butter coming off the bench. Like, I don't know, maybe if Dennis Schroeder's available, that would be really cool. But
So
we'll get into fantasies later.
How many years would you give this core before you start questioning the core?
John Stockton and Karl Malone played their entire years together and only got to the finals twice, never won anything. So
how many? But I think they've been in Western Conference numerous times though too, right?
They did, and you know what happened?
They lost.
They lost, but it was patience and retooling, right? I know I'm only 24, 25, but maybe I think like an old head. I don't believe in managing and trading everyone and like getting the new flashy toy, this, that, and the other. If this thing has the potential to be better, then like curate that, put all your chips into that because you know what you have in that, right? And you know the potential that could be there versus you get somebody over here in the system, they might not work. Look at DeJounte Murray. What did the entire NBA say when he went to the Hawks? This is a match made in heaven. He's going to be perfect. He's going to be that defensive guard that Trae Young is looking for. Oh my goodness. And then what happened? They didn't even make the playoffs. They failed in the play-in with DeJounte Murray, right? And then they gave up 4 picks to get him, 3 firsts and a first pick swap. And then they had to trade him away. And then they just got the number 1 pick in the draft. And then they didn't even make the playoffs this year, did they?
Mm-mm.
Okay, right? We swap in and trade and give them this, that, and the other. Hey, you got 2 guys here. You see the potential, right? I mean, I say this all the time, right? Again, 2 different players, 2 different trajectories.
Right.
Steve Nash wasn't even an all-star till his 6th season. He wasn't even considered in his 5th season, right? He started to blow up at the end of the 5th season in the playoffs, and then through the regular season, his 6th year, he became that guy, and he was averaging 8 assists a game, right? Şengün is 2.5 assists away from that, and he was already an all-star, right? We saw what he is, 2 different guys, right? Like, Jalen averaged more points than Steve Nash did in his MVP career, right? Yes, again, he did average 12 assists per game. I'm not saying it's 1-to-1, right? But the thing is there, man. I
don't think the two, because you're bringing up 2 players and you're bringing up specific players, but I don't think Jalen is the one. I think Amon is the one that you would like. I understand Şengün.
We running your core through 2 non-shooters. Your whole
So you're
non-shooters.
saying. So let me ask you this: you're saying that Amon will never develop a shot or never?
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about right now, as is.
Yes.
But if we talking like in the future, do I hope he develops a jump shot? Absolutely, 100%.
So Amon's playmaking, Amon's defensive ability. Yeah. Amon is the one. Amon is the one you're going to build around. Period. Regardless of Şengün or Jalen is here for the future, foreseeable future or not. Amon is going to be Amon is your franchise player. Why? Amon? Because Amon has so much untapped potential that it outshines Şengün and Jalen by light.
I think you talking like a fan here, not like real. Show me how he does, because his potential is what you think, and I haven't seen like defensively. I see a deep way, right? I see that nice shiny trophy he's polishing, right? I do see that. But I don't see the what you're describing where he outshines Şengün, who, by the way, was an all-star and just averaged 20, 12, and 5. The only other center to do that in their first playoff series, Jokic.
This was Amon's first full season, correct?
Yep. He's a 2nd-year player. Yep.
So his first full season last year, he split time between G League and main roster towards the end of the year,
and he was injured.
No, he never been in the G League. He was just injured.
Well, he played in the G League for 2 or 3 games to
He was supposed to play in the G League, but he got hurt.
Yeah, he was after the Charlotte game, I think he was hurt last year.
Yep.
So my question for AD and Preston, because y'all both on both sides of the ball, is out of who has better chance to develop against their weakness. So you said Amon needs a shot, and we saying Jalen Green needs to be more aggressive. Which one's more coachable to get out of them? Because aggression is not something you can really coach into somebody. You have to be kind of born into it.
It's a mentality.
You bring it out of them.
You gotta have it, bro. You just gotta have it, though.
You should bring it out of them.
So
I have known many players on football, baseball, basketball, all sports. If you ain't really born with that aggression, that dog that dog mentality at them, it's not something you can coach into a player or coach out of it. I need you to be. Most of it is who you are. It's when you on the court, you're the most dominant player, and you're going to show it no matter what. Is that something that he hasn't shown? It's easier than Amon getting a better Brooklyn shot and being more offensive minded? Because that's the question you need to ask. If you're comparing those 2 players to who's your number one going forward, which trait, which weakness is easily coached up or coached out?
Yeah, so go ahead, Preston.
I think that saying it out loud, you're looking at it men developing a jump shot is more likely to be reached than to coach something that we're saying doesn't exist. But I don't think it's the fact that it doesn't exist, right? Okay. I truly believe that Jalen's got it in him. It's there. Because we've seen it in flashes, like we're saying with immense potential, where he's hitting shots, right? Okay. Where he's doing the things, the playmaking, the defense, right? Where he's showing these elite level flashes, right? Because all year long was elite on defense. We saw that, right? But it was his offensive flashes that we looked at that this is the makings of that A1 player. The level would be to do both, right? Jalen, conversely, when he is aggressive, he's your A1 guy. There was not a question about it. His only issue is, can he be consistent? Right. Not, hey, can you work on this? Can you do this skill? Can you be consistent? That's That's what we're asking here for, right?
Yeah.
And I think that just stems from how is the offense ran. Because when it was getting ran through him 100%, right? Or not 100%, excuse me, when he was the main initiator during the regular season, when he had that chance, when Fred VanVleet was gone, Jalen averaged 6 assists a game when Fred was gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something to look at, right? That is, by the way, during that stretch, right? Those 6 assists per game. That's more than Şengün averaged, more than a men average, right? And we don't even look at Jalen as a playmaker. You look at him as a guy who can't hit the pocket pass, who isn't making the right reads, but here he is making those things possible. But his role in Ime's offense isn't that. It's, all right, do you got it tonight? Nope. Okay. Dylan Brooks, do you got it tonight? Nope. Fred VanVleet, you got it tonight? Nope. And not necessarily in that order, right? Because we know that's not how the order is. The order changes from game to game to game. We all know that. But like a guy who needs to be consistent needs consistency in his offense as well.
So this is the thing. The mentality of it and being aggressive. Like, I'm gonna say this. Jalen is a front runner. In the sense of when I say front runner, Jalen has to have everything going for him. His shot has to fall. He has to see it fall for him to be aggressive, as you would say.
I don't agree with that.
Show me a game. Show me a game where Jalen's shot was not falling, and then he turned it around later in the game and became like super aggressive, super. I'm gonna get this shot regardless if it's falling or not. I'm gonna take this. Like it's always at the very beginning of the game. If Jalen is hitting his shot, he's going to have a great game. If Jalen misses 2 or 3 shots or he's missing layups early in the game, you might as well count him out. That's my point when I say it's in you and you're not being a front runner, because again, if you have that alpha, that dog, that aggressiveness persona in you, I don't know where that's coming from. But if you have that dog, that aggressive persona in you, even if you're missing shots, even if it's not falling, I promise you, you're going to make an effort to make something happen. You're going to, look, we see it all the time. Players take control of the game in their own way. If Jalen's 3 is not falling, I know we talked about it again. If Jalen hits 3 or more threes, we're winning the game, or whatever. I think the stat I had brought up before, like if his 3 is not falling, then make a way. Like if all you need to see is the ball going to hoop, then take a 2, take a midi. If midi is your game, if that's where you excel, I don't give a damn what you saying, MA. I'm going to be the alpha. I'm going to be the dog. I'm going to be the guy, and I'm going to get my shot so that I can see the ball go in the hole, and so I can see that scoreboard keep moving, so that now I can be confident, because now if I'm hitting this midi, guess what opens up? The 3 opens up. Or if I'm hitting this midi, I can drive to the basket easier now, because they're going to push up on me, and I can blow by them and get to the hole and get an easy layup. So you have to be confident in yourself enough to say, I don't give a damn what Ime is talking about. I know what I can do. I'm going to hit this mid. I'm going to go in the mid-range game, and I'm going to excel at it. And I'm going to say, I'm going to make Ime change what he's doing. You can't sit up here and just say, I'm just going to sit back and wait for my turn. You have to take your turn. Sure. And that's the point. And that's the point that, yes, we can put a lot of blame on MA when it comes to the communist offense that AK loves to talk about. But a lot of that goes back to what I was saying again with the aggression. You, with all of these young players, Jabari, you have to make it happen. You see that you're 4th or 5th on the pecking order. You have to make it happen.
Sure.
Cam, when you get That's Cam is a whole nother story. I don't even think we need to talk about Cam right now. But it's just
I love Cam. Cam
I
was
know
my
you
guy.
do, but Cam has his flaws. Cam has his issues too. Amen. You see that they're going to sit up here and just bog off of you on the 3-point line. If you make 2 or 3, guess what? Your game is ridiculous now. You got to take them. I'm not mad if you take them and you miss them. Take them. Don't be scared to take them. Like, take it. And the same thing with, Shingun. Shingun, you see these damn layups ain't falling, and you see you're not getting whatever. They see you out there at the top of the key, and you're confused, you're conflicted on if you want to take the shot. Take the goddamn shot. Take the shot. Take the 3. You can hit it. Like those are the things when I say aggressiveness, take it. You got to be able to take it. And that comes from all the players, not just Jalen Green, not just Alperen Sengun, but all of the young players. Reece Shepard as well. We saw when Reece Shepard was first getting his action in the season, he was so scared. It was like he was scared shitless to take a fucking shot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cussing, but for him to take a shot, it's almost like he was, he was holding his nuts. And it's like, why? Drop him. Yeah. This is your opportunity to play and do what you do best. And I don't know what it is that Ime is putting in that gumbo over there at Toyota Center, but whatever it is, he needs to put some filet or something in there to knock all that out or whatever to get them to be confident in themselves that you got. And I know that Fred has said it on occasion that he has to talk to them as a vet on the team to build confidence within them. That's the thing, is that confidence is missing. And I don't know why they don't have confidence when, like Donte say, in the Smiley era, it was like, do what you do.
Yep.
And
I think that's part of the problem.
Do your thing basketball. That's what they call in the Smiley era. Just do your thing basketball. That's something they were doing well.
Exactly.
I think that's
At the end of the day, I saw, man, Amen got that, like AD said, he got that alpha dog, bro. And I think he got a whole lot of dog. If this man just get if this man work on his jump shot, he can become an unstoppable player, bro. His athleticism, already got a lead defense, already can finish at the rim at a high level, and work on them and work on his ball handlers a little bit. But getting a jump shot alone, even if you got to have a mid-range, that man can become unstoppable. He can become unstoppable.
AP, man, I know she was kind of quiet there. I'm interested. What do you got to say to AD and the rest of everyone watching? By the way, go subscribe to H-Time Rundown on YouTube. But AP, what do you got to say to AD about the confidence thing, man? Do you agree, disagree?
I mean, yeah, man, you're the second overall pick in that draft. I mean, you got guys like Cade out there balling out their mind, Evan Mobley's balling, Scotty Barnes. I thought you were going to come in this playoffs here like, man, you should have been that number 1 pick. You should have made Detroit wish they would have picked you at number 1 instead of Cade Cunningham. Sure. And then in the series, you dropped that 38 ball, but then you let Draymond punk you in game 3, game 4, and then
game 3.
You didn't prove nothing. You shot real bad. I mean, most of us, we could have went out there and put more points up there than Jalen did that whole series.
It's definitely tough to watch.
Matter of fact, Cade Cunningham averaged 25 points a game his first playoff series. So.
Man, he played the Knicks, bro. We don't do this, bro. He played the Knicks, bro.
It don't matter. Cade,
they're good offensively. They're good offensively.
Players. They got 3 great defensive players on the same team, bro. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. Jalen Brunson is a hell of a defender as a small guard. They got some guys on that team, bro. That's not a slop.
And it's a Tom Thibodeau coach team, bro.
The whole team is about defense.
That's a team that just beat Boston last night.
Yeah, they beat Boston because Boston took 63 pointers.
No, a win is a win. They still won.
No, they won. They won because Boston took 63 pointers.
What if that was their defensive plan?
Was to let Boston take 63 pointers, the team that takes the most pointers in the league, makes the most in the league on the highest percentage in the league.
I mean, it worked.
Come on, man. Come
on.
It worked.
Hey, hold on. Since AP and y'all brought it up, if Cud Cunningham was on this team, where the Rockets have beaten that the Golden State series?
Yep.
Because he's more aggressive, right? He gonna get to at least 20 points a game, right?
point
Yeah,
guard.
Cancun
say-
should have won in the second round.
I
And I
like,
say this,
don't know.
and I say this again, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If Jalen Green just averages 15 outside of game 2,
thank
the
you.
Rockets sweep this series.
Yes.
You're talking about a total of 6 more points, and you're talking about a total of either 3 more twos, or him getting to the free throw line a little bit more. I don't even think Jalen averaged more than. I don't think outside of game 2. I don't think he took more than like 5 free throws in any game.
I think he combined for 8 free throws in the whole. Besides game 2, I think he combined for 8 free throws the rest of the 6 games.
And
That's his game. He's strong. He's strong, quick, and get to the rim, right?
His calls, man. Come on.
So I understand. And look, let me say this: I understand you're not getting the calls, but you have to make yourself undeniable. If you go, no.
I'm about to rip my hair out.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm about to make my hairline look like 80s, bro.
Hey, look.
I gotta calm down. Let me make some more.
No, my hairline is fine compared to mine. So
He's not here to defend himself.
is right. I don't care. It's just the whole point of if you're aggressive and you're going to the hole and you keep going to the hole and you keep going to the hole. Again, I understand it. You may not get the calls in game 1, 2, 3, but when you get to game 5, 6, and 7, you're going to get those calls because it's going to be talked about. It's going to be discussed.
I disagree, bro. I wholeheartedly disagree. And you want to know why I disagree? Because Alperen Şengün took 23 shots and only had 4 free throws. Nobody was getting calls, bro. It didn't
game
matter.
7, though. That was game 7.
When it mattered, when it mattered the most, right? Because that's what we're saying. That's what we're really saying here, right? Is when it mattered the most. When our guys was trying to get in the post and do something, we was not getting free throws. Because the game before that, we just had 46 free throws. Guess how many free throws we had game 7? Just take a guess.
I don't even want to look at
20. We had 21 free throws. Surprise!
I don't even want to go game 6 because game 6 you had freaking Steven Adams.
You're right. You had Hack Adams, right? So that's why it's an outlier. Other than that, we averaged 27 minus game 6 and game 7. We averaged 27 free throw attempts a game. Okay. Now we made 15, right? We missed 6. Şengün missed 2. Tari missed 2, and then Jalen, he missed his 1. You know, he went 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, excuse me. So we got 3 free throws. That's pretty cool. But outside of that, man, like we're talking about a guy's not being aggressive enough. And when you are aggressive, this is exactly what I'm talking about, the dichotomy right here, right? Şengün was being aggressive. He tried to get his free throws, right? He took 23 shots to get there, not getting his calls, only got 4 calls. Jalen trying to go to the rim. I mean, we watched the same game. How many times did Jalen go to the rim and Draymond hacking out this man? And guess what he got? No call. No call. He just missed a shot. And then we complained that Jalen missing shots and being inconsistent. But how can you be called inconsistent if you're not getting your calls, man? That's kind of what it is at the end of the day. Now, I will say, Amen, he was overly aggressive. He wasn't just aggressive, he was overly aggressive, and he got a total of 6 free throws. Amen should have had 10. Right. Amen, watching that game, Amen should have had 10 free throws minimum. And guess what he did? He clutched up. He went 6 of 6. Right? Phenomenal game. Thank you, man. Thank you. But you're watching one guy do it. One guy get it. If only one guy is getting it and got it, and Ime's offense, it's all right, cool. Let them cook. Go ahead, young blood. Everybody else sit back.
All right, I gotta go because I gotta do the Texas show in a little bit. So I just want, since I'm honored that y'all talk to me, y'all give me knowledge. I'm not a big basketball guy, but before I leave, I want y'all to give me some positive about the Rockets' first playoff series in a long time. Even if we run it back, and if we get new players, just give the fans something to positive about us being in the number 2 seed and being in a game 7 against a veteran team with 3 Hall of Famers out there. Just they know what they're doing. They all rise to the occasion, and we're young and up and coming. So give us some points before I go.
Last thing I will say before we get him out of here: experience versus inexperience. Experienced always wins. That's what it is at the end of the day, right? I will say I appreciate Houston and I appreciate the season we had, is not like honestly, I'm only talking so negative on here because I got to defend Jalen. That's all it is, man. You know, I got to ride for my boy, but I understand the reality of the situation. But realistically, it was a great season, regardless of the ups and downs of the whole team. Despite all odds, you're telling me that this team that just got bounced in the first round won 52 wins with no shooting, with a glaring weakness on it that we've been complaining about all year long. We still won 52 games. Thank you, Houston. Work on the negativities, and that's like we can come back and win 50 plus games again next season easily if we just get a shooter.
All I'm gonna say, Mr. Jules Jefferson, we better not run this same team back. Yeah, I can't go in next year with the same squad. You can't. You just got. Like I say, we do need shooters, but also we need a guy that can put the ball in the bucket when we need him to put the ball in the bucket down the stretch. So we can't go in here with the same roster due to how tough the Western Conference is, and plus knowing going into each series and each game that knowing we can beat anybody but also lose to anybody. You can't go in with the same team. You got to get someone up in here that can make a play at the end of the game for you and give them another option. So you can't do that. But only thing I would say, this team, they fought hard all year long. Due to the fact they only didn't do two things well. They didn't shoot or make free throws well. So at the end of the day, that's the only thing we couldn't do well. We couldn't do well at all. We was last in free throw shooting. We was last in shooting the 3-ball, and we still end up winning 52 games during the year. But other than that, like I said, you can do that. You can get away with that. You can get away with that in the 82 game season. You can get away with that, but you just can't get away with it in the playoff series. See, we didn't get away with it, but other than that, I'm proud of the growth and how better these players got. How big of a step Amen Thompson took, man. Jabari Smith accepted a bench role when he got hurt, and knowing he wasn't going to get back in the starting lineup because Thompson was playing so well in his spot. Alp turning into an all-star this season, which is he definitely deserved it due to the spot that we're in. Eason got better, but the team as a whole on the defensive side, that's what won us a lot of games. And Steven Adams, man, you got to get that man credit, man. That man right there, man, is a horse, man. That man is just a workhorse.
95 years old, still playing the game.
Offensive rebounding, screen set, and you got Jeff Green as a vet, man, being one of the best veterans in the NBA, man. And Ime Udoka, you just got to give him credit, man. You just got to give him credit too. So
what is this comment?
Man, Rich is out. He just throwing stuff on against the wall and hoping he hit.
Is this Lake Show Jerry talking?
Oh no, his trade was crazy too.
I just want to thank the fans too, man, from going out and supporting these guys too, man. Supporting this team. It's been a fun season all season, man. Watching our guys go out there and grow and just watching us just win ball games, man. Instead of being an AAU team the last 2 to 3 years, we looked like an AAU basketball team out there. But it's just fun, man, to watch the growth of these players. Roy, Ivy, and all of the other coaches, getting along with these players. UT came from UT, but other than that, it was just fun, and it's better to get this experience out there because we're gonna be expecting a lot. We're gonna be expecting a lot for this team next season. Now that you're close, that just tells you you probably got to get one more guy, bro. You can't go in with the same roster.
And go ahead,
AP.
AP, what you guys say? Yeah, something positive, man.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just saying, possibly Kevin Durant might solve all of
We retire Kevin Durant, bro. I don't want Kevin Durant, bro. I don't want that man.
So let me
Morant. If we gonna throw names out there, you know what I'm saying?
Don't get me wrong.
I don't want no thug. But keep that thug off my team, man.
Give me a thug, partner. Give me a
sounding real Karenish, Preston, right now.
Yes, sir. I'm in Iowa. You know what I mean? I need my blonde wig.
But no. Let me say this because I see a lot of people say running back with the same squad, just add a shooter. You add a shooter, who are you taking off the court with the same squad? Look at your rotation that you had in the playoffs. Who are you taking out of that rotation for a shooter?
Brooks. Not out of the rotation though. Just like I'm talking, like just like we be shooting off mid. So like Fred VanVleet, he getting like
So you hold on. So you taking the two guys who actually can shoot out of the rotation.
Wait, hang on. Let me look at something real quick, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Dylan Brooks only had 8 points in Game 7. Oh, he did. He went 0-3 from 3.
This was Dylan Brooks' best season as a shooter.
Regular season, yes.
Even in the postseason, he was, until Game 6 and 7, 1 through 5, he was your most consistent Rocket. Period.
All right, hold on here. Now I got
to. He did average 15 points a game through games.
When I say consistent, he gave you the same thing games 1 through 5. Yes, Game 6, I would say Game 6 is an outlier because he got in extreme foul trouble and they had to sit him.
So second half. What's Game 7?
Game 7, okay, that's the outlier.
What's Game 5?
What was
did he put up? He put up points. But we talking about his shooting specifically, right? 3 points specifically, right?
I said you switching argument because
no. You said we were talking about threes.
Game 5, he didn't need to. We was already blowing him out. So a lot of that stuff he was just shooting, bro. A lot of that, like Game 5, like we was already killing him. He was
7. Well, okay, hold on. For Preston, match question, Preston. If you get a shooter and that he takes more shots away from Jalen Green, how is Jalen Green going to progress?
I think it comes down to being on the court at the right time, not necessarily taking the ball out of his hands, right? It's your rotation. What are you looking at specifically? And less communist offense and more understanding who is getting the ball when who is on the court. That's what we're looking at.
What's crazy is that you drafted Jalen to be an alpha who was an alpha coming out of high school. Şengün was an alpha as a Turkish MVP.
Yep.
Jabari Smith was an alpha on a almost Final Four run. Everything was Elite 8 Auburn team who was number 1 in the country the whole year. He was the alpha on that team.
Yep.
Tari Eason was the alpha on that LSU team. Even though they weren't that great, he was the alpha on that team. Cam Whitmore was he Villanova?
Yeah, he was Villanova.
He was an alpha at Villanova.
Was he an alpha at Villanova?
Yes, he was. Yeah,
yes,
I didn't watch college game.
He was.
The only reason he dropped is because of his mentality. He was off a little bit.
Yeah,
he throwed off.
Only one that I would say that probably wasn't the alpha of your 7 first-round picks
is Reed.
Every other person, Amen Thompson was an alpha on the Overtime Elite.
He was a co-alpha with his brother, wasn't he?
Regardless, co or whatever, alpha was in his name. And every single one of those guys were alphas except Reed. And now you're asking 5 of them or 4 of them to be role players.
That's how the NBA is. What are you talking about? That's how the league is. You know what it's like. You get a promotion, right? You get a promotion. You go from being a regular a tier 1 employee, and you get a promotion to be a boss, right? You a tier 3. Cool. You still got people above you, but now you got people who was on your level, but you seen differently by your company. So therefore, you got more responsibilities, and those people, your team, gonna have to respect you. Because if they don't respect you and their productivity drop, then they gotta go. Where the sound at? Hang on, I'm pulling it up right now. You gotta go.
But
he gone. You ain't got to.
But to 80's point, you still got. They're so young, they're not ready to take a role position yet. They think they should start over anybody else.
They're still
Cam Whitmore thinks he's God sent to the NBA. You can't tell him no why. So how do you make those young Thundercats who all think they should be starting and getting the bulk minutes be a unit for role players? Because one guy dominate. This is the NBA.
So
one got to dominate.
I go back to the example of you brought up Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City was kind of, and I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about before, where Oklahoma City was in that range of they drafted number 2, number 3, back to back, whatever.
Yep.
And you had alphas. Well, Russ was an alpha on that UCLA team.
Yep.
And you had James, who was an alpha at Arizona State, and you had Kevin Durant, who was an alpha at Texas. All three of those guys came in and they worked well together, and they didn't take away from each other's alphaness. It's not even a word, but
That is not a word.
it's not a word, but they didn't take away from each other's alphaness. And because you have so many, it's almost like you're blessed that you had these high picks, but it's almost like a curse as well, because you can't. I look at Oklahoma City because a lot of people, Oklahoma City right now, they
There we
have
go.
Shea.
Right, because
They have
but
Shea. They traded.
they had a lot of draft picks too. They had a lot of
They-
first round draft picks too, and
but
one guy
how many-
developed to be the guy.
But how many? Hold on. How many?
They didn't draft Shea.
They did.
No.
No, he got drafted by LAC, and then they
Yeah,
traded
yeah,
him for Paul George. Or not Paul George.
The football guy don't know everything about basketball. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No,
Hold on.
you're good. You're good.
Hold
Yeah,
on. So
he was
this-
part of the
hold on.
Paul George trade for the Clippers.
Yeah. So that goes back to my point is
Okay.
that Shea was traded there.
Okay.
You have that, but outside of Chet, did they have number 1, number 2, number 3 consecutively? They had number two draft pick, but outside of Chet, who have they drafted at number 1, number 2, and number 3?
Nobody. They had Chris Paul there. They made the playoffs. So you had a teacher, you had a veteran who was willing to give the ball up in crunch time, who was willing to guide his guys.
But no, you're missing my point. My point is
I
that
understand the alphaness. I know we didn't have consecutive guys who were drafted high to come into a team and be.
Alphaness is
I
still
get
not
it.
a,
I know what you're
alphaness is still not a word. I'm not gonna let that slide.
hey, alphaness is now
Alphaness
a
is
word.
not a word.
I'm calling Webster. I'm putting it in the dictionary. But again, it's just the point of OKC is different because they have a lot of draft picks and a lot of young players, but a lot of their young players were drafted in the late lottery, mid first round, late end of first round. So you had guys that when they come in, they're going to fit into that role player role because of where they were drafted. You draft your role players in the late first round, second round, which is where most of OKC's draft picks or players on their roster right now were. Isaiah Hartenstein is a great role player. He was drafted by the Rockets in the second round. Again, a lot of their role players, look where they were drafted. Jalen Williams, what was he drafted? Both of the Jalens.
Jalen Williams was drafted number 12.
Where was the other Jalen drafted?
He was drafted in the second, I believe. He was drafted late in the first round, I believe. He was drafted later on.
He was like 27th.
Yeah,
exactly. So again, look at where their core players were drafted from, and how they all revolve around that
Hang on. You got two guys who were traded there. They weren't drafted to that team. Isaiah, who's a starter, he got traded there, right? He signed there from the Knicks. Okay, all right. Yeah. Shea was traded there not to be an alpha. He was not traded there to be alpha. It was this hang on. He was a key piece. Yeah, he was a key piece. He was the
piece of the trade. He was the piece of the trade.
They got 9 draft picks. That was the trade.
Why the trade got done, though? He was the main reason why the trade.
Again, if it was for the draft picks, then they wouldn't have included Shea.
Yes, they would have. They needed salary filler.
You could have traded anybody. You could have traded. He was on a rookie contract.
Yeah, who needed an extension, and the Clippers could not fill it. But I am saying that Shea, they saw the potential in Shea. They saw the potential in Shea, just not alpha potential.
He got traded after his first year.
This is gonna be a hot offseason for y'all all season. I see this now.
I'm gonna sit here. We're gonna let this topic lay, and we can pick it up on next Monday when we air the next episode. Give us a little bit more to talk about because we do need to talk about the future. We need to talk about what happens after this because we're still living in the present. Right. But we need to have 5 minutes or 10 minutes real quick to talk about what happens with the Rockets on Monday night and going forward after Monday night.
Let's do that real quick. Let me pull up Tankathon.
First round, give us the first pick.
Legitimately, I don't think the Rockets do anything until Monday. I think they wait.
Oh no, you can't.
That pick falls, and then they start being like, okay, this pick may be in the top 4. Maybe we can add that in the KD mix, or maybe try to persuade the Suns to give us Devins Booker somehow.
Hey, AP, I'm gonna tell you
Something
this
there.
right now. If that pick lands top 5, you know you can significantly take away some of the picks that you give away in a trade because that pick is top 5, top 4.
Is the players coming up that good for that
You
kind
got
of?
Ace Bailey, you got, of course. Well, I don't know if Cooper
What if
Flag
the Rockets get that number 1 pick though? What if that somehow falls to 1? What do we do
I'm
after that?
gonna tell you this right now. If we get number 1 overall and Cooper Flag stays in the draft, I'm drafting Cooper Flag and I'm not doing nothing.
Interesting. All right, boys. I'm running the lottery. It's been untouched, as you see, 1 through 9. That's us. Unfortunately, the Phoenix Bums are giving us their pick, and we appreciate them greatly for tanking towards the end of the season. As you see, they went 1-9 to the last 10. Appreciate you. Let's see what's going on here.
Number one.
Wow.
There we go. I told y'all. Number 1.
Wow. Guys, you wanna know something? You wanna know something? That is the 3rd time on the pod we have gotten number 1 rolled for us. 3 times.
Hey,
It's gonna get scary.
it's a
if we get that
sign.
number 1.
It's a sign.
You can trade for anybody.
I can imagine
that
AD,
pick.
AD reaction if we get number 1, bro. I can imagine that, baby.
Interesting. AP, we get number 1 pick. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm gonna get Cooper Flag. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But if I'm wanting to get Devin Booker badly, and I'm wanting to persuade them badly to get Devin Booker, I might have to give up that number 1.
See,
But
no, I get you. You taking calls? Okay.
But if it's
Coach-
for somebody who's gonna fit the young system like Devin Booker, I
Devin
might take a
Booker
swing
fits
at it.
pretty seamlessly. I won't lie to you. But Donte, man, what are your thoughts? You get number 1 pick. What are you doing?
I'm all for drafting a player, but it don't matter where the Rockets land at. Just something telling me they're gonna trade. They're gonna be trading a pick. They're not gonna keep it, bro. They're gonna trade it for one of these guys in the offseason. I don't think the Rockets hold on to no pick, to be honest.
Sure. Jules, what do you think?
I'm calling Milwaukee right now.
Okay.
I'm calling Milwaukee right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Okay.
get him, and then with that number 1 pick and a couple and a 1 player, I know I can get another. I can get a shooter with another trade with that number 1 pick.
Honestly, like I feel you. I like that.
Right.
AD, you staying the same? You staying pat?
I'm waving the white flag.
You can't talk about Jalen all the time and gonna keep him just because you got Cooper Flag.
I'm waving the white flag.
That's crazy.
That right, Preston. That's crazy.
Crazy. I'll tell you what though. No matter what pick we get, right?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
I'm taking calls. If we get number 1 specifically, I'm taking calls from every single team who can give me the best package.
Right.
Every
There
single
you
team.
go. Got
Every
to.
single team.
You stupid.
I mean, I didn't even care at this point though.
Yeah.
I think it would make
That's
sense
fair.
because if we get the number 1 pick, that means we can go get us whatever missing piece we think we're missing, or we can go get us an alpha dog.
Mhm.
It don't matter what we got. I mean, at that point, I'm not
Honestly?
saying everyone's off the table, right? But like almost everyone's on the table.
Let me ask you this: What if a package of the number 1 overall pick, Jalen Green, and another pick, and a filler, whoever? I'm not touching Reed, Cam, Jabari, any of those guys.
So non-core related.
Yeah, non-core related. You trade bottom of the bench guys, salary filler guys, and it's a package to Phoenix
For 2
And you
players
get-
for Durant and Booker.
for Durant and Booker.
They just didn't work. I
It
don't
didn't.
know.
I'm impressed in that. That doesn't work.
Yeah, they just Booker and KD on the same team with all their offensive firepower. And let's not like cap here. They have some great defenders over there, by the way. They have some pretty good defenders over there, but not good enough.
Right.
Their offensive firepower couldn't get them to the playoffs, baby. They, like, the whole point of pairing up Kevin Durant and Devin Booker with Bradley Beal was like, hey, we're like the Nets 2.0. We're going to drop 170 on you. Good luck stopping us. And guess what they did? They just doubled Devin Booker. They doubled Kevin Durant and let everybody do their thing. And guess what had that happen? They got them
That's the number
39
one pick.
wins. You know what I mean? So exactly my point there. Now, I will say I am taking calls from Phoenix. I am willing to hear exactly what they got to say. 100%. You best believe, because we got them like this. You know what I mean? And if we got the number
their
one
pick,
if we got number one pick and we have their other two picks, we can work out something real nice where we don't even have to give up a core member for a lot of what they got, because we got them like that.
Even if you do a trade package, you get the number one pick. I don't think you got to include Jalen Green with number one pick. I think Jalen Green has enough value that if you want to make another trade for a shooter to go with that number one pick, you have to, if putting those together. I mean, it's if you're gonna trade Jalen Green and number one pick, it's that's it. That's the package.
Yeah.
I don't think you got to trade any more than that. Maybe salary,
Filler,
just the fillers.
Your
But
Jock Landales of the world.
you're keeping 95% of your core if you get number one pick and you trade Jalen Green. But I think you can work it with separate trades with the one pick and Jalen Green, because Jalen Green is still raw enough talent to trade by itself.
Say it with your chest, Jules.
I'm just saying, I can make Mario pop too.
Yeah. If there is something to be done,
right,
and we get the number one pick, truthfully, I'm saving it for my alpha, and I want to know how bad Milwaukee hates Giannis. I want to know how badly they think Kyle Kuzma and Damian Lillard are for their team. That's what I want to know. Right. I also want to know how bad the Grizzlies want to hold on to Jaren Jackson Jr. You know, I like JJ.
I want another inside, bro. I don't want another inside. We gonna have to
give me, if you gonna talk to Memphis, give me a third.
No,
I don't want no thug, bro. He can't. He was injured.
Give me Anthony Edwards then. How about
that? I don't know.
Well, give me Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
The deadbeat dad. Give me the deadbeat dad.
This is the life of
Anthony.
I'm a thug. Hey, all day, every day, yeah, because I'm a thug. Hey,
I'm gonna continue to come. Skip's been coming.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards. I know he's a deadbeat, but he paid his. He's a changed man.
Yeah. Give me if no one's off if no one is off the table besides Joker, I think Joker's the only one you probably not gonna get.
And Wimby. We're not getting Wimby.
I don't want Wimby.
I know. Hold on. So
I'm just a non-basketball guy. I don't like Wimby. Wimby's
gonna be hurt every year.
He's Manute Bol.
He's gonna be hurt every year. I can.
Sean Bradley.
They said the same thing about Steph Curry and his ankles, and guess what happened?
Man, there's a difference between Steph Curry having ankle problems and then Wimby just being big and lanky.
He played like 68 games his rookie year. And
yeah, but Yao Ming was the same.
He got hurt his rookie year, right?
Ankle injuries, a lot of foot injuries.
Yes.
Same thing with Zion. To being too big and too powerful and exertion.
Wimby is like 7'8", bro. Like, let's be for real. Like, that's not sustainable, dog.
You're right. It's not sustainable. You know what's not sustainable?
This podcast,
this conversation.
A lot of things. We have to go. The Texans have to perform. All right. So
Anthony
I'm putting a pin in it right now. AD, don't let me. Yeah, we having a conversation later. But I'm excited. I'm real excited. Like I said, I'm
gonna continue to come.
I'm excited. Jules, man, where can we find you, man?
Oh, I'm not on social media. The only way you can find me on
you gonna find him only on the H-Town Run.
The only time you're gonna keep me on. I am going blackball. Don't say nothing, AD. Don't say nothing. I'm going black. I'm getting off social media. I'm trying to find a place in the woods. Just be by myself in a boat.
Yeah. Interesting. I love it though, Jules. It's good to have you on, man, for real.
Yeah.
AP, man, where can we find you, brother? And thanks for joining us today.
Well, you can find me at Rocket King AP23 on X, and then the Rockets Round Robin. You can follow all of us on X, Facebook, and Instagram, and then also click so you can connect with your boy, me and TJ, on Facebook and Instagram as well. And it's all Ryan's fault. That's all I gotta say.
It's all #Ryan's fault, man. Make sure you all comment that in the comments. Thank you, Donte, man. Another beautiful episode. Thanks for keeping it positive. We appreciate the smiles around here. Where can we find you, bro?
Yeah, the only unpositive I'm gonna say we better not go in with the same roster. Nick, it's not happening. We not going back with the same roster. We just can't
Run
afford
it back.
other than that, y'all can find me right here, A-Side Rundown. Sometimes y'all can find me on the football side as well sometimes. So like I say, y'all find me on Instagram, Coach Donte 5. Y'all can find me on X, Coach Donte, that Rockets guy. So y'all all Coach Donte all over the place.
That's wild. That's a wild comment right there. That's a wild comment there, man.
And AD, man, the man of the hour, getting ready to go do something in about 15 minutes here. Was good, and thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Right here, the H-Town Rundown. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the website htownrundown.org, all H-Town Rundown. Just put in the search bar, you're gonna see us pop up with our logo. TikTok, everything. H-Town Rundown Podcast. So go ahead and follow, like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can get all the updates for all the episodes, whether it be the Rockets, the Texans, hell, even the Astros coming up. So be sure you're tuned in with the H-Town Rundown.
Like he said, this ain't a shakedown. It's a rundown. This has been your Houston Rockets basketball podcast. Follow at the H-Town Rundown, like AD said, man, at the H-Town Rundown, YouTube, X, as well as Instagram. Check us out, man. Check everything out. We do a whole lot. And we got Monday coming up. It's going to be a Tankathon special. We actually get to talk about picks. So make sure you bring your pen and your pencil and your paper because we're going to be talking and writing a bunch of stuff down for this pick. And maybe we making the pick. Maybe we not. Follow me at drip2piece_GAWD on X as well as Instagram. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see y'all next time.